wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, you're staying.
Okay, but I have to go pull it to the website.
Yeah,
Don't pull it on this, please.
I'm just going to pull it on the front page of the website.
Let me know when it's up because I think I'm still on Zoom.
Yep.
Are we tweeting that we're live?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go look at my Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Did you send out a link yet, team? Like, I mean, on Twitter? Did you tweet anything yet?
Oh, no, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tweet anything yet. All I did was
We're live right now, by the way.
Start this. Are we live on the website right now?
Not on the website, on YouTube though.
We're live on YouTube. Hi everybody. So yeah, you can tweet the YouTube link out.
Welcome, YouTube listeners.
We'd be live, baby. Oh man, did I have a really good sandwich today? As we prep for this meeting, I had a great sandwich today.
That's good. What was on the sandwich?
Fish, pickles, fish, cheese, mayo, an onion bun was the house for said sandwich. So it was terrific. I really
I got a
enjoyed
question for you guys. Fashion question.
Yeah.
So I'm 50. I've never been cool.
Yeah.
And not that I'm trying to be cool, but are you tuckers or non-tuckers?
Non-tuckers if it doesn't have buttons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll pull that out.
Fucking right. And if it goes over your ass, you're wearing shirts that are too big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't 26 until I got out of the idea that hip hop fashion was cool for 26-year-olds. And then I realized when I would be walking through like a mall or something, the only people I would go like this to would be like 15 to 18-year-olds who were wearing the same shit that I was wearing. So,
you bring up a good point because you still kind of dress like you're, younger, like you're wearing an Expos hat.
That just means I'm old. They haven't existed for 20 years.
You've got the
but you've got
the douchebag chin strap going here.
He's got a younger style, I would say.
I would also tell you that beard is not for fashion. Assalamu alaikum. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I don't even know if I said it right. So much I don't know.
Sounded okay to me. I watched Homeland.
And if I go like this, people will be like, that Nazi James DiFiore who's on Dean Blundell again, saying Nazi shit. Fuck it, I'm an Expos fan today.
We live in the best time in human history to just sling words for no reason, too. Remember when you used to call someone a racist?
That's so fucking racist.
Yeah, you used to call someone like if you got called a racist in the news, if you were ever called a racist on television, if you were called a racist, if I called someone a racist on the radio, if you in print called someone a racist, it was a big deal. Like you had to have irrefutable evidence that person was a racist, who you were calling a racist. If you didn't, you would get sued. You were in deep shit. You never ever did anything like that. It never crossed my mind. I remember calling a politician a pig once and I got sued. And I called lots of people names, but the word racist now or homophobe or pedophile, that's a new one. That's like the ultimate thing that I fucking never want to be called by a large group of people, by the way. Pedophile for any reason. And
stay away from that one.
But they just seem to be like the words now. No one gives a fuck. They can just toss these words out, and words I used to be afraid to even use, and I'm not afraid to use many. So,
well, hey, how many times have you been sued?
Several.
Hey,
good for you.
We should have a whole show about that. We could go toe to toe with all these letters of intent that I've received over the last 5 years. But
we're gonna sue you.
Do you remember Maxime Bernier's lawsuit against Warren Kinsella is still going, and that lawsuit is centered around the fact that Warren Kinsella was saying that Bernier was a racist. Right. So it could actually make case law, to be honest, because there's freedom of speech, and then there's like besmirching a person's reputation, And Warren Kinsella admitted on that hidden audio tape that he has lied about politicians being racist before, and he even named the ones that he lied about, and he said he just did it for the work.
Did he really? Who did he say he lied about? I knew that happened, but I didn't know that.
He said he lied. So his machine, whatever you want to call whatever it is that he does, spread rumors that Kim Campbell was a racist. That who's the guy with the jet ski again? I always forget his name. You remember that politician that went to
Big Sean?
No, the progressive, the conservative, the federal conservative guy. I wrote an
No
article
idea.
about it. I wrote an article about it. I can't remember the names. They're all people that you know, though. And so they're these all they were all leaders of the federal conservative party, from
Okay.
Kim Campbell onward, basically. And he admitted on tape, he's like, but what he said was this: I've called people liars and had campaigns calling people liars several times before. And he's like, Kim Campbell, and then the other three, and he's like, only this time it'll be true.
Hey, Darren.
He actually said that.
That's kind of like a nice example of what I was talking about. It's like a really well encapsulated example of the fact that we can just start calling each other racists, no problem. No, like it happens all the time. I got called a pedophile this year. I got called, I get called all kinds of names. And normally,
You should start keeping track.
well, I know we all should, because we should start suing. My point is this. I think now we're at a time in history where we should probably start pushing back. That's what I think.
Well, everyone's playing sociology now. So
You run out first.
That whole thing about if
We'll follow you.
All right.
That whole thing about if you ask somebody where they're from,
Yeah.
that's racism now. Like, I remember not being able to distinguish.
What do you mean? But if are you saying, see, then
If
you
you
have
ask
to
a person, who has now we can't even say person of color apparently. So fuck it. Like black people, brown people, people that aren't white. If you ask them where they're from, the left says that that's a racist act now, because you're trying to or it's a microaggression or something that's embedded in racism, because you're trying to spotlight the fact that they're not from here.
I used to ask cab drivers all the time.
It's the best way to open a conversation. They don't
where they're
even
from.
mind. It's
Where
just
they're
white
from.
liberals.
So where are you
white
from?
liberals mind.
And when they would say, this is where I'm from this place, I'm from that place, I would say, I'm an immigrant too. I'm from England, because I came here from England. So that was just to start a conversation. What do you think about the country? I like the country too. I don't know anything different though, but how is it different from where you're from? Because it's like the most obvious conversation you can get into with someone who's completely from a different culture than you, right?
Totally.
Doesn't matter where the fuck it is. And so if you now if you can't say that, what do you say? There's a question.
I don't know.
I did that all the time in Toronto. I'd get into a cab and I'd ask the guy, hey, we go a couple kilometers. Hey, where are you from? And the guy's like, I'm from Pakistan. Stop the car.
Yeah.
I get out. I hit another cab. Where are you from? I'm from India. Stop the car.
We were drinking at some bar, the three of us from the show, and we hopped in an Uber, and I'm trying to remember the country. It was an African country. And I asked the guy, hey, where are you from? And he said Trinidad, whatever it was. But at that time, there was a story.
Trinidad's not in Africa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's in the island.
Sorry. It was an African country that started with a T.
It was so anyways, this guy's from the continent of Trinidad, right? And
so anyway,
That's awesome.
at that time, there was somebody
Absolutely
that had just
proving the point that we're all talking about.
somebody
I'm trying to
just
think of an African country that starts with a T.
but
Jamaica.
that's not racism either.
Tanzania.
That's just he's geographically inept. He doesn't
Just
know
retarded.
geography.
Bahamas.
Anyway, the guy that had won the Boston Marathon like that week was from this guy's country. And I said
Probably
to him, I
can't-
said, hey, are you a runner? And the fucking guys like James and Grant on the show were like, you're the fucking worst human being ever. I said, why wouldn't he be a runner? I mean, maybe everybody runs there. I fucking don't know. I wasn't.
If he was
being
from
racist.
Kenya, it's not a bad guess.
Kenya, you know what? It might have been Kenya
Yeah.
and not a T.
Dad.
That's not racist. That's like saying, where are you from? Canada.
Thank
play
you.
hockey? You
You
play
know
hockey?
what? People would
play
take
hockey?
take
Captain-
that stuff and they would beat Locke up with it and say, hey, listen, Locke, that what you sound to me is you sound racist. And I suggest to everybody this. Locker doesn't have fucking, if you said find Canada on a map, Locke's 50-50. He's like,
Especially if you spin me around first.
That's Madagascar, Locke.
yeah. So if anybody says anything like to you ever, it's like, you fucking racist. You said Trinidad was in Africa, which is
getting
great,
out-
by the way.
It's getting out of hand a little bit, though, isn't it? Like,
No,
hey, how do you
yeah,
want your
you could
coffee?
just
I'll,
say, hey,
I'll
listen,
take it black.
I
You
got a
fucking
G-
racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say,
I used to
I'm,
make-
That's what
I'm
James
not-
was saying.
I
would
wrote
say,
it.
I'm not racist. I'm just geographically challenged. That's all
right.
you have to say.
That's
Also,
right.
I love how people who are actually really like bona fide certified racists go, I'm the least racist person ever.
That's usually the first thing out of their mouth. I'm not racist, but
Well,
that's like every family dinner.
The but is the best part of the I'm not racist statement. However, also sounds like when someone's not trying to sound overtly racist without actually pushing the fact they're not racist. I'm not racist. However,
I can think of a whole bunch of shit you can say that would be
Yes.
racist after that. No, you know what you just did? You just played sociology with social issues. And what that means is that if a person like the white liberal is always saying stuff like, Locke, you were just about to say, what if I went to Pakistan and he said, where are you from? And I said, Canada. And he said, don't you play hockey? You would be fine with that.
I would be absolutely fine with that.
I know, I got it. But the liberal do-gooder would say, yeah, but you're the oppressor and he's the oppressed. So it's not the same thing. And they would
do
say
you
that
really
for
care
every-
about that right now?
It's
The
mainstream
oppressor
now, so
and the
you
oppressed.
should.
It is fucking mainstream, though.
Well, now
It
after
is
the
mainstream
last
now.
week, people are going to go, "Hey, where are you from, Darren?" I'm like, "I'm from the United States." Did you storm the Capitol? Well, no, I
Legit
didn't. Are
question.
you sure?
I'm pretty sure I saw you steaming the Capitol. I'm pretty sure. Were you one of the guys that took a shit in the office of Nancy Pelosi? Did you see that the other day? How many guys?
Somebody take
I
a
saw
shit in the
Dangerous
office?
Darren show stickers
Yeah.
in the Capitol.
Yeah, Nancy was doing this thing with Leslie Stahl, and she's like, "That's where they, And I was doing some research, and apparently, like 3 people took a dump in Nancy Pelosi's office. During
Three?
the actual, yeah.
Imagine
during
being the third
storming and
guy.
thing. And then one guy was
You're just
talking
the
about
third
it.
guy?
No, how come Nancy Pelosi didn't lay down pee-pee pads?
She was using them.
litter.
She was using them. We'll get to that conversation, and I want to get to it too. But we just got locked. We just got locked down in Ontario today. So we've got everybody here in some capacity is as a connection to Ontario, sort of. Locke, you don't really.
I don't care.
No, you're out west. He's in Edmonton. Darren used to live in Toronto. James used to live in Toronto. Myself and Chris Rooke, who's our head of production, live in Toronto. So we're from Ontario. Today we just got this stay-at-home order. So it's so bad. The COVID is so bad that we've been told that we have to stay at home.
Bad is it?
It's so bad that we've been told we have to stay at home. And that stay-at-home order comes with an emergency declaration that says, which I laughed about today, and it's not funny. Like we're gonna go up to, we had 41 people die today. We're gonna go up to 100 by February a day for like 4 weeks straight, which is really bad. And I'm really mad, but I fucking laughed my ass off when I saw part of the actual order today, and it said this, and I quote: "Non-essential businesses have to have similar start times, including hardware stores and liquor stores, will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. I thought, oh my God, the liquor store is open at 7 o'clock in the morning. So they've made the hours better for alcoholics during this whole thing. So
I actually
Bravo.
think that's a good thing. I don't know why that if people
And
shit on that
hardware
as if
stores,
it's
so
bad,
liquor
but-
stores and hardware stores have to align their hours.
all the stores, like if you're an essential store, if you're selling groceries, if you're selling liquor, if you're selling anything that's essential, hardware stores, because people are going to need to get their shit, obviously. And curbside pickup is still open. So, but it's like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Are people
And-
angry at that? Like James asked?
I don't think they're angry at it. I
It
just
is
think
funny.
it's hilarious.
It is funny.
I'm like, the one thing, like we've regulated alcohol sales and so much for so long.
Not in Alberta.
The only time we're telling people to fucking go for it is say, listen, it's a pandemic. Get there as fast as you can. We get it. Get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Get as drunk as you fucking can, people, because this is going to suck.
You know, it'd be funny.
I'm all for it.
It'd be funnier if they gave the LCBO exclusive hours. So then you're propping up, the LCBO. They just had to put it in the pile, right? So
Yeah.
that's all
I
good.
thought Ford was going to move to privatize the liquor in Ontario. That didn't go through.
We're middle of the pandemic. I don't think he had time to do that between the time when he started and when the fucking roof fell out. But
yeah, that's a good point.
Can I
How-
say something? Because I want to.
Yeah, please.
I just want to drive home something that I think is sort of important. Doug Ford if you go back to the leadership of the last PC Ontario leadership race, should not be the premier right now. And the only reason I bring that up is because a lot of the issues that we're having is the lack of cooperation between the provinces and the federal government. For all intents and purposes, and you can disagree if you want, but I know this to be true. Patrick Brown was basically ousted by his own party. The allegations against him were proven to be false. One of them, he's still in a lawsuit with CTV that it looks like he's going to win. I happen to know one of his lawyers who tragically passed away in an accident recently. But we know that he was.
So you don't know him anymore.
Well, he's dead now. Yes.
Yeah, that's my point.
I know him. Here, man.
Yeah, well,
anyways,
that's over.
So but I think it's important because I think you can trace a lot of the problems that we're having back to that lack of cooperation. They say 30% of people aren't obeying the rules that are in place before the state of emergency. How many of that do you think are leaning PC in Ontario? 80% of those, probably.
I think that's impossible.
That's a little high.
That's impossible to judge. That's where I would put that. I would put that in the analysis of I'd never be able to figure that out.
That guy was innocent?
Common sense, I think. Oh yeah, Patrick Brown did not do it.
Really? Someone should have told him not to look so guilty.
I've heard the audio.
Because I already tried him. He looked so awkward when he was dealing with that.
Did he really? Yeah.
You want to know why he
looked like a guilty guy all the time. Everywhere he goes, he looks guilty. He's like this.
Listen, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the press conference at Queen's Park. You want to know why he looked like that? Because he just found out that his 3 main staffers took away all the phones from the other staffers and basically said, okay, we'll be right here when you come back. And they abandoned him. He was by himself. So anyways, but the point though is that all these people that aren't obeying the rules, I think it's a pretty good estimate, especially if you just sort of glance at social media. Everybody that is anti-mask and everybody that is anti anything to do with this virus are conservatives. All of them, like literally, it's probably like
Randy Hillier, who's one of the all-time classics.
You have this much libertarianism in you. You're probably anti everything.
Okay, well, I got quite a bit of liberal, and I'm libertarian in me, and I'm not an anti-masker, but I think what's interesting is I think that different people with different mindsets politically all have something that different, and it comes at them differently that they're angry about. So I think the sentiment is that anti-masker, that I'm going to rally against the rules from the government. It's building and building and growing and growing and growing.
I would say it is.
I don't think you can put I don't think you can just label it. Okay, everyone who's in anti-masker is.
No, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't say everybody. That's ridiculous. But I believe that it's like at least 3/4 of the anti-maskers and the dude, the conspiracy theories right now that you see are off the charts. They're everywhere too.
Yeah.
And it's like I know that the people that I've seen that are talking about this stuff, a lot of them are reacting, like the more moderate conservatives are reacting to the government messaging that has flip-flopped all along the way. Everything from the science behind masks to whether or not we should close the borders, whether or not we should close air traffic, all this kind of stuff. All these things that we flip-flop about is just more ammo, and it's just recruiting more and more doubters.
Yeah, you're totally right.
But I'll tell you
one last thing, because I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you guys do.
Sure.
The whole statistic behind COVID deaths and who has died because of COVID and who has died because COVID mixed in with 2 other terminal illnesses. I would love to just know the number and what. No, it matters. We don't.
I think they are keeping track of that, though, Dean.
At this point, no, I know. But listen, you guys, and I know why I'm having this conversation with you guys is because I want to learn about it. And I'll tell you, and I say, who cares? I say it almost as a throwaway because it doesn't matter, even though I am interested in it, even though you are right. Where we are now as Canadians in each province, whether we're hoaxers or not, whether we believe in science or not, whether you're conservative or liberal or black or white or an essential worker or not, where we are right now is really fucking bad. And it's really bad for a couple of reasons. One, politicians played politics at federal and provincial levels with this virus. 2, we have a group of people who don't give a fuck that live in this country about anything other than themselves. Tie that to conspiracy theory, tie it to religion, tie it to whatever you want. I tie it to ego and stupidity. I tie it to the fact there's a large segment of society out there that still does not want to learn because it's too hard. Maybe they have a learning disability, and I'm being fucking serious. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe they've got anxiety. Maybe they've got a malady that's undiagnosed or diagnosed and not fixed. Maybe they just don't care. We don't ever put anything on this website ever that's not true about human health, ever about politics, ever about truth, about power, about religion. We never, ever fucking go into places where we're perpetuating lies to fit a narrative, ever. So we can sit and I love doing it. We're going to kibitz about it for the next hour or so. We're going to talk about how bad it is where we are. We're going to have some laughs about the dill holes out there that are fucking us over. And we're going to, talk about why you shouldn't, touch your face for the next little bit, all that stuff. We're going to talk about new rules. We're going to talk about all those things. And we want to keep people informed. But I want to tell everybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, we're not here because of fucking conspiracy theories. We're here for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. Your governments, both of them, federal and provincial, municipal as well, to a lesser extent, it's trickle down, don't care, and they have fucked you. The second thing is, on this hand, you've got people who are too dumb to understand science or want to learn. And so they just say, fuck it, we're not wearing a mask. And so we're back here and we're in lockdown and we're all in the same place and we deserve it. There's my piece.
Here's what's interesting about what you just said. When you said
all of it,
the government is fucking you.
Yeah.
The people that you, on the other hand, were cheering when you said that.
Yeah.
Because they think they fucked them because they think that the virus is a real pandemic. The government thinks that.
I think there's elements of.
Oh, and the government the government has fucked us. They fucked us by not bringing experts to the table, not doing this based on science, doing this based on what your friends say and what's politically good for your career, what's going to curate the most political capital for you. So that's in both cases. That's in provincial, federal, liberal, conservative, and everybody. I watched Andrea Horvath today, province of Ontario, and I like Andrea. She's my friend. I like her. She's a nice person. Haven't talked to her for a few years. But she was nice, always nice to me every time. I had her on the show a million times. She's idealistic. She's carving the fucking premier of the province after for saying he didn't do the lockdown right. Maybe he didn't. No one gives a fuck about any of that stuff right now. We're all going to have to figure out, do you think the average fucking human being is sitting here going, well, yeah, I think politically I need to figure out where I sit after today because we've been told to stay at home for the next fucking 28 days. Do you think anybody gives a shit about any of that stuff in Alberta? You can decide whether or not you're going to vote for someone. Every single party has let every single person down in this country. We're fucking so far behind vaccinations that it's a joke. It's a joke. So
I think it's also, I want to add
blowing
something.
steam. I will say that I'm just sick and tired of people talking about how we're going to get through to each other because we're not. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to get really bad. And a lot of those people that are too stupid to understand it are going to be forced to understand it when certain members of their community die. And then over here, our politicians are going to have to put up fucking field hospitals and do all the shit that needs to be done that should have been done a long fucking time ago.
We were talking
those things are going to happen just way too late.
We were talking about this in April. Remember, we were on this podcast. We were talking about why, the makeshift hospitals that the military were going to build, and none of it happened, right?
Zero.
So I think, and I've been thinking a lot about, because my anger goes back and forth. I'm trying not to be the guy that goes on my radio show every day and yells for a half an hour about how stupid the government is. I just don't think it's productive. So I try to focus on the positives. And the one thing that I think that they've done, one of the major mistakes that they've done is everyone is too sensitive and they're trying to find ways to tell us things without all of the facts. And
because they don't want to upset us.
I'll give you an example. Down in California, it's well known that a massive problem with COVID is with the Mexican population, right? They do say it, and it is reported, but it's not talked about much because they're worried about the scrutiny of coming on a press conference and saying, hey, listen, if you're of Mexican descent, you are this more likely to get it, this more likely to die, and it is running rampant through your community right now. You need to do something. You need to talk to mom and dad, right? Like they don't do that because everyone's freaked out about it. The other thing too is they overthink things that they haven't got 100% confirmation on. Why are they not telling everybody to fucking take vitamin D? I know everyone says it's a Joe Rogan thing, but I have read probably 30 articles in the last 6 months about it.
Started tweeting about last night. Started tweeting about vitamin D.
I've been talking about it on the show.
Hasn't anybody said anything about vitamin D to me? I got it right here.
You know what? Because they can't talk about it as a potential cure. So everyone will go, oh, okay, if I take vitamin D.
Okay, so where are you getting this information from? Where do you get that information?
Okay, well,
it's a cure.
I just figured out where Kenya is, so I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to highlight articles that I read, but I've seen a ton of stuff online about vitamin D, right?
Yeah,
but that's more of a preventative, isn't it? It's
exactly
to build an immune system, so it's not a cure.
No, it's not. Thing. But they should be talking about it.
It's an immune thing, and it's a mood thing.
I think they could pass
and then
the
you do
information.
Vitamin B12,
and then zinc.
Really good for you, zinc, and then you do the vitamin C. You do about 1,000 milligrams of that. You do some zinc. I got the zinc right here.
You think you're going to confuse people? Honestly, James, by telling them that, hey, listen, this isn't going to cure you, but it might help you. And if you did get COVID,
where's your melatonin?
I don't bring that out till nighttime, kid. That's a nighttime drug.
That's so rich.
I seriously, my buddy works for what? My buddy works for this is, and I'll be honest with you. If you want a really good, this is what I do. I don't say this is science, but it is science that vitamins are very fucking good for you, especially if you
vitamins,
a vitamin deficient life, which I do, right? I take probiotics so I can help myself shit because I love to shit. Shitting's the best. I take B12 because it improves my mood a great deal. I take about 4 of these a day, usually in the morning. Zinc. That's how I start my day.
Your pee must be electric.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like purple.
Dude, yeah. I took a
What's
piss.
Dean doing? Oh, he's painting the shed.
It looked like that Nickelodeon NFL game this weekend. I got a little magnesium and I do the omega for my brain, but the vitamin D3 is like the most important thing that I do. The vitamin D is,
I think to answer
but I don't think it cures you.
Eat your vitamins, kids.
Locke's concern is basically that governments are weak and their communications has been awful since the start. That probably goes back to something I said a couple episodes ago on this podcast, where the World Health Organization, after the last pandemic scare, I don't know, I can't remember if it was SARS or H1N1, whatever it was, they put together a plan and they said this will be the plan for the next one. And we are the very first attempt at making a plan that has never been tried before work, because that's why we've never been locked down before. If you go back in history to SARS, to H1N1, to swine flu, to all that stuff, we've never done this. This is totally uncharted waters. And they decided that we were going to do this before the illness even arrived. So if it was swine flu, another strain of swine flu that came instead of COVID, they would have just stuffed that into the plan. And so the plan is isolation and social distancing. They added masks almost as a makeshift thing at the end because after they had said that it was ineffective. You can basically look at any messaging from the WHO from like February till now, and you'll see like 2 days later, our government repeats it almost verbatim. Yeah. Almost every Western government. And so we don't have, they are making it up as they go. And you can tell when you look at their faces. They're making it up.
Of course, they're fucking making it up as they could go. I would think that would be.
Should we not forgive them for that though? Because there was no playbook.
Well, no. But hold it. Of course, they're making it up as they go because we've never fucking been here before. It's never been like this before. How can you say that they have a playbook for something like we have? Here's what I think. I think they tried, and I think they politicized it and they fucked it up. And I think the playbook was wrong too. All that shit. But I don't think that you're never going to fucking plan for something like this. Like our healthcare system in Ontario, there's a reason why they're doing it is because we're literally on the verge of fucking letting people just die at home, deciding who's sick. It's like fucking triage.
But they're part of the
Who's
reason.
sicker than who?
Their communications, them making it up as they go along, is part of the reason. And when I say that, by the way, I'm not saying that they've never been here before. It's uncharted waters, then they're not quite sure.
Yeah.
They're deliberately not telling us certain statistics and data and things like preventative health and all things like that, because they have this overriding mantra that says people are stupid, so feed them by hand because they're drooling idiots. And
Can I ask a question?
The ones that aren't drooling idiots, we're sitting here going, holy fuck, this press conference
Serious.
is for drooling idiots, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're looking like that. They come off like that because of them.
Can I ask a question? Is that why they give us these ramps of like 5 days, coming up in 5 days, we're going to be doing this. Got a lockdown coming up in like
That's just another
7
trial
days.
Like, didn't they say that we were going to be copying Quebec's
Like this one doesn't start
curfew?
till the 14th. What's that?
Right, but the curfew. was
No,
the
they never
trial
said
balloon.
they were.
I know.
No,
the
they
curfew was
said
a
they
trial balloon
might.
like a week. Right, but that was
And
still,
then they
wanted to
go
see
through
what the
social
reaction
media,
was.
and then they're like, okay, let's have a look. Oh no, they don't like it. Don't do the curfew. We're gonna do this instead.
Dip your toe in and then say
Um,
it's too cold 3 days later.
But here's the deal: these are the new state of emergency declared. Starts on the 14th of January, which I don't understand why they don't just drop the hammer today. Like they did that at Christmas time, where they gave everybody till the 26th to go out and get as much fucking COVID as they could, and they did. And so now we're fucking doing it again. It's like, okay, it starts on the 14th. Everybody goes till the 10th. And outdoor organized public gatherings, social gatherings are further restricted to a limit of 5 people with limited exceptions. So if a 6 comes around, and they said this on television today, if you're standing there with 5 people having a beer in the park like you do in Spruce Grove, Alberta, if you're standing there with 5 people and a 6th comes around, they can actually come and break the whole fucking thing up and tell everybody to go home. Which
Fucking Jerry screws things up all the time.
every time.
Yeah.
This is
told
consistent
him
with
to
the
stay
rules of the
home.
lockdown, and individuals are required to wear a mask or face covering. Indoor areas of business and organizations, wearing a mask or face covering is now recommended outdoors as well, if you're not more than physically distant than 2 meters. All non-essential retail stores, including hardware stores, alcohol retailers, that kills me, and those offering curbside pickup or delivery must open no earlier than 7 a.m. and close no later than 8 p.m. No later.
Can I tell you a quick liquor store story?
You can in a second. I just
Yeah.
want to ask, to throw it out there for the group, is funneling everybody into the same time frame to go to the same retail stores the smartest idea in a pandemic?
No. Neither is keeping closed all of the independent grocery stores, because now everybody in a certain area is going to the exact same place.
I don't get that.
Turning it
Yeah.
into a petri dish, right? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. Like they're saying, okay, well, listen, everybody shut everything down. You can't go anywhere but here, and you have to go at this time. And the whole goal is to avoid community spread by avoiding contact, right? So everybody's going to be at the fucking same store. I
Yeah,
don't
it
get
doesn't
that
make
one.
any sense. Yeah.
Non-essential construction, further restricted, including below grade construction. So no more construction, blah, blah, blah. Non-essential. I don't know. Stupid. I think this one's, you know what I think? Because I'm one of those guys that didn't need all of this stuff to do the right thing. I'm just like, fuck, okay. Yeah, get on with it. Next one. We got to keep doing this. It feels like I'm in the class with majority of the people are really stupid, but there's like 2 really dumb fucking rejects in the corner that keep dicking around and dicking around and dicking around and dicking around. And they're making it bad for all of us. And we keep having to stay in for fucking recess. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
you know, what's funny about that is that they're sort of authoring their own complaints in the future. So by dicking around and dicking around, the government clamps down further. And when the government clamps down further, they're like, but they don't realize that they're part of the reason why it's clamping down further. Self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't that what that's called? Right?
I believe it is.
Alberta, when just before the last lockdown, we had a friend of ours send a picture, and he goes, "Okay, I think I'm covered for the next couple of weeks." And he had gone to the liquor store and bought. I'm trying to remember the number. He had the back of his pickup truck full, 12 48 packs of pill. And because his buddy called him, one of his racist buddies, Pill. What?
Pilsner.
Hold on.
Oh,
It's,
Pilsner.
pill is a
Pilsner.
pill
I
is
thought-
a no
I
pill's a
thought he was
brand
talking
out.
about ecstasy. I was like, fucking right.
All right.
Buddy's got a whole fucking truck full of ecstasy. Let's
Jesus
go.
Christ, sign me up.
So anyway, I'm
Pill's
like,
a brand of beer out west.
yeah. Anyway, he says, I think I'm covered. I'm like, why did you buy all that fucking beer? He goes, Sean, who we call racist Sean called me and told me that Trudeau
His
was going
only
to shut all
black
the
friend.
fucking liquor stores down. And I'm like, you're kidding me. So we went and bought every box, every 48 pack in the liquor store because his buddy scared him.
Is Sean your only black friend, Locke?
No, he's the whitest guy you'll ever meet.
No way.
That's really funny.
So can you shorten the name of all beers? Like, can you go, hey, go get me some log.
No.
Go give me some stout.
No, I was surprised when I grew up in Alberta because there was this really famous beer in Alberta. It's called Pilsner, and it was made in Lethbridge. I don't know if it still is. Green bottle, has a kind of a bunch of Alberta flags on it. It's just known as Pilsner.
It's really colorful.
It's got the white rabbit on it.
Yeah, white rabbit on it. And so when I came out here, everyone was like, "Would you like a Pilsner?" I'm like, "I don't think they sell those out here." They're like, yeah, they do. I go, no, they just sell them in Alberta. No, would you like an amber? Do you want a Pilsner? Do you want an ale? What do you want? I'm like, no, you don't sell Alberta beer out here. So yeah, that's the deal.
You know, it's funny. I've done pills with white rabbits on them before. I'm just
I bet you have. Hey, quick question, Darrin. We haven't talked to you for much of this podcast because I can see you're busy and you're just kind of listening to the conversation about Canada. But California has its own set of issues, as I understand it. Like I think it's like a fucking neck and neck race when it comes, not according to numbers, but if you take everything and you put them across the board, Ontario and California not too far off when it comes to really fucking this whole thing up.
Yeah, we're a bit of a mess here. The numbers are through the roof. Hospitals are at capacity. They're
Where are
telling.
you at? Like, didn't they say that hospitals are now closed to new patients?
No, they're saying that ambulance drivers have the discretion to bring a patient in or not based on if they aren't going to make it. So if they go to an old woman's house and she just can't breathe and she's dying, they could say, sorry, wow, we can't take you in.
Jesus.
Because you're only a day or 2 or 3 away from dying versus someone that we might be able to save, which is horrible that you put this stress and pressure on these poor EMT guys and gals.
That started today.
They have to make field decisions of, okay, person dying of COVID, we're going to go have a nice day and drive away. It sucks. It's really bad, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's a nice bottle. It's pretty.
It's a classic beer.
Old style.
That's one of my favorite beers too, is the Pilsner. It's a good beer.
Good
steam whistle.
Shotgun beer. I like steam whistle. Yeah.
Yeah. Los Angeles County ambulance crews told not to transport patients with little chance of survival. Yeah. There you go. Wow. Holy shit.
They weren't going to vaccinate because they've got the frontline workers in Alberta. They weren't going to vaccinate the paramedics. And everyone's like, what? Why wouldn't you do that at the same time you do the nurses and doctors? And they're like, well, they're not on our list, but their priority sequence or whatever. They've since changed that because these guys are driving to people's fucking homes. And I witnessed one pickup in St. Albert, and they had fucking full-on hazmat suits, and these guys had to put them on, go in, get whoever they were getting, drag them out in a gurney, put them in the back of the ambulance, and then take everything down. I just sat there and watched it for 25, 30 minutes. Yeah. And
how long did it take to get in the house?
They were pretty quick. It took it seemed like a lot longer to get them out, whoever it was.
You got to load them up and stuff like that. I just meant like going through that whole routine. It can't be that much of a fucking emergency because you got to put all this stuff on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It literally, I think I stood there for, I'm trying not to exaggerate, probably 30, 35 minutes watching this whole thing go down.
They alive? The person alive?
I have no idea who it was. I wasn't actually living in that neighborhood. I was just driving there to pick up something and I saw it. So out of curiosity, I watched it. Yeah,
I'm just reading this thing, Darrin. You were talking about it. A little more than a month, the county in Los Angeles County has doubled the number of infections from 400,000 to 800,000 cases by January. Holy shit, that's crazy.
It's out of hand here. It's really
21. There are now more than 7,600 people hospitalized with COVID-19 in the county. 21% are in ICU. Holy shit. your infection rate's like 9-10%. It's more than that. It's 12% now
What's yours in Ontario?
in California. Same, like 9, 10.
9. I think
Yeah.
ours is 6 in Alberta.
It's a lot. Like, there are a lot of fucking people that have it. And I tweeted this today. It's not possible to be hated more than I hate the person who still thinks this is a fucking joke. Like that guy I fucking hate. If you at this point of your life still think that we're having fun here and this is some kind of conspiracy or it's a 5G thing, I hate you. I physically hate your guts. Like, you don't deserve to be here.
You hate a lot of people.
Well, I do. I really do. I really like, I have no purpose for anybody that walks around right now after looking at the scenes that I see coming out of LA and talking to you guys about it and seeing how it's affect every single one of us. The person that still willingly denies that this is going on are useless individuals. Absolutely fucking useless.
So James said that he figures about 30% of the population is sort of at a point where they're like, maybe not full on anti-masker, but they're against what the rules are. What do you think that 30% of the 30%, what do you think the percentage of them are that they think that this is fake, that this is a conspiracy, like a pandemic?
Not a lot.
I think there is a whole bunch of different reasons that people have. I still think people think that it's a bioweapon from China. That's actually less unbelievable than most of the other ones. There's the people that think that it's just like as bad as the flu, and there's nefarious people in the shadows just trying to take advantage of a crisis. There's people that think that all the measures in place are just to sort of make us weak and don't really do anything. Like they're all sort of fractured, but they probably make up like that entire 30%. A lot of people are just like, oh, so we I can't remember the examples, but all these silly memes going around about, oh, so we can survive this, that, and the other thing, and this is supposed to kill us. And it's like, I think I understand why some people might be skeptic and not trust governments, but with this, the effort to go that they've gone through to have everyone sort of like, people are getting sick and people are locked down, basically the two piles of people. I just think that what would the payoff have to be in order for this to be some sort of conspiracy? Like, this is, so because I want to understand them so that I can talk to them, or so that we can talk to them as people that believe that this is actually happening. You remember the whole anti-vaxxer movement before COVID, I think I told you before, I always had a little bit of sympathy for, because they were motivated by the safety of their children. And people like Robert Kennedy Jr. were telling them for decades that it caused autism. And he was, before he went on this anti-vaxxer crusade, a very credible person. Like he didn't come off like a nutcase or anything like that. So they thought they were getting good information. And then all of a sudden one day they were told, after they've already been conditioned to believe in something, oh, that's not true. And by the way, you're a fucking dummy for believing it. And the more we bullied them, I think the more they stood their ground. And I think it was the wrong strategy. So I appreciate that you hate them. This is a pile of different anti-vaxxers. They're more like anti-governmental conspiracy theorists, rabid libertarian.
Yeah, I think that's where if I could pinpoint the person, I'm not talking about someone who just who's been, I don't know, swayed by religion, or they think Jesus is the reason for the season. I am talking about those people too. I'm talking about literally anybody who hasn't bothered to read source material on exactly what's happening right now. That's who I'm talking about. Because and especially to the person that has read it and still denies it and doesn't give a fuck.
But Dean, I was reading on Facebook about a satanic pedophile ring. That's a source. We actually, I swear to God, Grant will pull up a friend of his mom's who's a QAnon. She's legit, full on. And he read those words from her Facebook page yesterday when we were on the air when we were doing a thing about Trump. And because I was like, I was at a loss, and I was.
Well, of course you are.
I had a problem recently.
Of course you are. The last time we talked, we haven't been through it. There was a fucking revolution in the United States. There was like an insurrection.
Yeah.
Like we've been dicking around a lot about COVID. Let's talk about Trump, like trying to take out the entire line of succession down in California there, Darrin. That was incredible. That was awesome to watch. I've never in my life been so riveted by something like 9/11. 9/11 was the same. I felt the same way watching it. Like I had to throw away everything I have to do to watch this. But your president literally tried to kill his political opponents last week. How you doing?
He didn't actually come out and say, go out and kill my political opponents, but he danced around it. And it wasn't just him. It was Giuliani with the trial by combat. It was his dumbass son who said, let's be patriots. And then Trump put the cherry on top with the let's march down Pennsylvania Avenue. I'll be with you. And you're not going to take back this country with being soft. We need strength. We don't need weakness. We need strength. I mean, that's all.
He was just beating the drum when they were yelling, let's hang Pence. Let's hang Pence. So it was he was on percussions.
But if he doesn't do the right thing, then I'm not going to like him so much. These people that he's appealing to, they're very, very influential. You could tell them to jump off a bridge, and I bet you a certain percentage of them would go, well, Trump said jump off the bridge.
That's what they did. That's what they did. He told them.
Even my heart of hearts, if he said, listen, everybody, listen to me now, okay? Hear me later. Listen to me now. Got to jump off the fucking bridge, okay? It's how it's got to be done.
That's really good.
Go find your nearest bridge, and you're going to jump off the bridge, and you're going to wear a MAGA hat. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. It'll make quite a mess, huge mess, like no one's ever seen. There will be people jumping off bridges, 100%. So if he riles this place up, let's march to the Capitol and show that we're not weak and we have strength and trial by combat. Of course they're going to. And then I was just flabbergasted. Now it's a fortress. Now you're not getting anywhere near the Capitol building. Forget about it. Yeah. But why didn't they have the same security measures in place prior to the attack? Did they not think that all these animals were going to show up with sticks and?
There's more to that story for sure. It'll come out.
And zip ties and.
Can I ask you guys a question? I'm not a conspiracy guy, but can I ask? Oh yeah, no shit, dude. You guys looked like I was watching Iraqi TV, and I was watching like. Fucking a feed from the United States. I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening in Iraq again. There you go. And
I thought the Vancouver Canucks won the Stanley Cup again.
Or lost just Stanley Cup again.
Lost Stanley Cup.
Sorry, Montreal that riots when they win. Never mind.
But I of course you were embarrassed. I was embarrassed for you. It's like it was unbelievable. You're sitting there watching these guys talk on television, and the senators are talking about, oh, you won the election, and they're trying to count the votes, and oh, this guy sucks. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to have to clear the fucking room because everybody get your gas masks on. There's people standing outside. There's guys coming around with zip ties. They literally tried to fucking kidnap Mike Pence and go and hang him out front on the lawn where they had the gallows. They actually built, I don't know how the fuck they allowed a whole bunch of, they're only white people are allowed to get away with this kind of stuff too, by the way.
I don't know why they were trying to hang a gallows. Like you can't die.
Wasn't it the last time that it was?
The topic about what happened is that if these people were black, they would have been literally shot. They would have been shot on sight.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you saw the show of force that the government put in the Capitol for the Black Lives Matter on the steps of the Capitol and the Lincoln
Memorial. Do you know how many people were arrested at that?
DC. But then you saw the very lackluster display of force when it came to this electoral college certification. And also, Trump was asked by his staff, high-ranking staff in the White House, we got to call the National Guard, Mr. President. This is getting out of hand. No, right now. Let's give it a minute.
Yeah, you wanted to see what happens.
Hold on. Maybe, I'll tell you what, half an hour, I'll think about calling and then at that point, Pence is like, fuck this shit. And he called and said, I don't care what Trump says. Listen to me. Let's get these guys in here. And it took time, but they finally got in and cleared them out. But at that point, the damage was done. Not only physical damage to the property, but also to the fabric of the nation. And some people go, oh, America's fine. No, we are damaged right now. We are severely damaged. I was on the verge of tears. I'm not ashamed to admit I wasn't.
Were you sad?
I was upset. Yeah, Dean. I was upset. My American soul was upset. I was upset that this was happening. I was upset that Americans that I call my fellow countrymen and women, let this happen. I'm upset that 70 million fucking people voted for a guy like this in 2016, and here we are.
It's fucking embarrassing.
It's massively embarrassing. And then when the Capitol got overrun by these yahoos with sixth grade educations, and they fuck their sisters.
A lot of neckbeards.
This is being broadcast around the world. The universe is looking at this going, what the fuck is wrong with that country? So for 4 years, we've been beaten down. And then finally the final blow was like, you ready? This is going to do you in. Bam. That's what Wednesday was for me. And I was really upset, really, really upset.
I think that there's a whole bunch of really small but important issues that all of that nonsense sort of brought up. One of them is that, is it good or bad that these Trump protesters weren't shot? Because it's hard to tell when you listen to people talk like, well, that was, because I said the same thing. If it was Black Lives Matter,
one girl was shot.
Yeah,
I know. But if this was, I've said this and I believe this to be true, that if this was Black Lives Matter, more people would have been shot. But I'm also very quick to say the result of what happened on I can't remember what day it was, but when they did storm the Capitol, there was
6th.
Yeah, January
Wednesday
6th.
the 6th. Yeah.
There, I mean, these were people that seemed dangerous because they were so passionate, but it turned out they weren't organized at all. So that's a good thing. That's a relief. But the second thing is, did we really want to see them get shot and killed? Not because they're Trumpians, whatever. Isn't it a good thing? And
I don't want to answer that.
Hold on. Shouldn't the Capitol Police apply the same type of patience to Black Lives Matter protests? Isn't that really what the solution should be? Or is it that they should shoot white people because they shoot black people?
Lock.
That's a tough answer to that. But all you can do is look at the proof that's in the pudding. That's what my grandmother said. The proof's in the pudding. Look what happened at Black Lives Matter. These guys got beaten just for protesting. They were on their knees protesting with signs, and they got beat. And there was literally layers of armed guys with M16 on the steps, ready to fight. Very intimidating image if you're trying to storm the Capitol. But for this, there was just a couple rent-a-cops, security for the Capitol, who aren't trained for anything like this at all, coupled with the fact that some of them just let them walk right in. There's a video of these guys against the wall, like, go ahead, yeah, come on. Good.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, there were a lot of Secret Service guys and Capitol Police. Yeah.
I don't think I want to see anybody
Yeah, lock
get
it.
shot. But
these guys.
what would have happened? Like,
Should at least be tased
what?
if you're going to breach the Capitol.
How
yeah,
would this?
yeah, you
how
gotta.
could this
Someone
be-
needed to get tased.
If you breach the Capitol, you should at least something should happen to you.
yeah,
I'll second that.
I think it's that simple.
yeah. You should have been.
like I
A
saw-
lot more people should have been shot.
It was crazy because I remember seeing a video circulating on Twitter that
I agree with
it was
Dean.
the first time since 1814. Is
I
that
agree
right?
with Dean.
Yeah, first time since 1812.
And then the video was a guy in with a horn suit and one security guard with a nightstick trying to be like and running up the stairs, being like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
this is actually happening."
Well,
So
do you know what that guy was doing? He's kind of a hero. He was drawing people away from a corridor that led to the chamber. And there were
Oh,
still
wow.
senators and representatives trying to flee
I didn't know
that
that.
chamber.
wow,
He was a hero. He's actually a hero for, hey,
Eugene
look over
Goodman.
here.
the one that ran up the stairs.
He moved.
Yeah, the
he
guy that
moved.
ran up the stairs. Someone did
Oh,
a really
wow.
cool like Call of Duty Zombies thing with him, with like all the sound effects in it. As soon as he got to the top of the stairs, and all the planking went back up, and it's like, rah, rah, rah. And then he-
I got a video sent to me of that mimicking that, but with Chucky.
yeah.
They dressed their kid up as Chucky and then put a knife in the kid's hand, and the kid was chasing him up the stairs.
Yeah.
Dean, did you see the video of the girl outside the Capitol with her boyfriend, and she's crying, and the camera's
Oh,
on?
yeah.
And the guy goes, "Why are you crying?" She's like, "I got maced." And the guy calmly goes, "Oh, okay. Well, why did you get maced?"
Yeah.
I stormed the Capitol. Oh,
Yeah.
so you went into the Capitol legally and they maced you? Yeah, it burns. Okay.
I did. I'm gonna show you guys something actually, as soon as I can
So funny.
get rid of this. You know,
Hey, we got his email.
Nice inbox.
thanks. You see that?
That's what she said.
I can't stop. Oh, there we go. How's that? Is that better?
There
Yeah.
we go.
I want to show you guys something. So we're talking about the fact that, you know, all these people embarrassing storm the castle. You know, the really fucking embarrassing part were all the stories that came out about how people weren't prepared, like this woman. Did you guys hear about her? She had the "Don't Tread Me" flag and she was trampled to death.
I shouldn't find that funny.
Doesn't need a new flag.
How the fuck do you trample her to death?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? You know, like it's irony. I wrote, "The state of affairs are an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often amusing as a result." Irony, like, quote, "I can't believe Roseanne Boyland was trampled to death holding a 'Don't Tread on Me' flag." Like,
Maybe she was tripped
irony.
on to death. She was
I'll
probably
tell you what,
tripped
guys,
on to death.
I
Look at
have
her.
zero. I'm an American, probably the only American here. I have zero fucking sympathy for that woman. Zero.
Yeah, I know.
Less than zero. You show up at a rally for
It's funny.
lame ass, racist, misogynistic, demigod president because you feel in your heart of hearts that that it was a stolen election. You come with a flag and you got your little dumb glasses and you got your little hat and your shirt and you're rallying with these people and you get hurt. Fuck you.
You know, and may I also throw in there, you're 70 pounds overweight. And you're going to storm something like, you know, if you're any more than 70 or 80% over. No, but I'm saying if you're morbidly obese and someone asks you to go and storm something, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Like this guy, morbidly obese. He's the guy that tasered himself right in the dick and balls and then had a heart attack and died during the storming of the Bastille. So that's exactly what we're happening.
I got a problem with that guy's Christmas tree too. It's pretty lame.
It's no good. And he leaves behind a shitload of ammo, all these really nice fucking guns. He's got, don't forget the 2 guns there and there.
Oh yeah.
But he literally pulled a taser out. His wife said, shot himself in the balls. And it hurt so much he had a fucking heart attack because he already had a pre-existing heart condition. So he's laying there on the side of the, I guess, the state building things. And people are just literally kicking him out of the way. That's what happened with him. My point is that thank God these guys are this is the group of people that stormed the castle. Otherwise,
I have no sympathy. I'm still pretty fired up about this, Dean. So fuck this guy and fuck that girl and and that girl got shot. Fuck her too. You know,
He'll be missed.
You don't go into a goddamn lion's cage and then get eaten by a lion and go, why did I get eaten by a lion?
Yeah.
You went in a fucking lion's cage.
But this lion
don't
cage
be dangling with electrical wires and then you get shocked to death and wonder why you got shocked to death.
But wasn't this lion cage only equipped with a puppy because everyone stood down and there was no protection?
I think in the woman's case, the lion's cage was diabetes. In the man's case,
I think it's important to point out that I love listening to you guys like make jokes because it's funny. We all need to laugh. But I think just to be serious for 1 second, we're hyperpolarized and we're exhibiting symptoms of being hyperpolarized because we're devaluing the life of people that we think are stupider than us, right? And so I think we need to be a little bit like we could. I don't feel sorry for the guy because he was armed. I feel sorry for that girl. You know what? Whatever crime she committed was probably punishable by a year's probation, and we said the death penalty is good. That's what polarization looks like.
I didn't say anything about but I didn't say anything about the death penalty. And she decided to do what she did, and she's dead. That's how I look at it. I'm making fun of the irony involved. I think the guy who tasered himself in the balls and died, that's great stuff. That's just.
Can I add to what James was saying? Because I think a lot of people went there, and there may have been some people that were like, okay, give me the chance. I'm going to bust in there and I'm going to help them count the vote. But I bet you there was a lot of people there that were just there, shits and giggles. They're Trumpers. And they honestly thought that they were going there to witness Trump take back the country. Like, I mean, and
I would have been there, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I would have been there for the spectacle. I would have tried to get past security so I could see what the Yahoos were doing and try to film it as a journalist. So I would have done a whole bunch of stuff, and people would have seen me.
You really would have?
Of course I would.
Well then,
you would have gone into the Capitol building, honestly.
And
to film what was happening and document it. Yes, I would.
If you got shot and we weren't sad, would that be bad?
I wouldn't be around to know it because heaven and hell don't exist.
I agree, but I wouldn't go anywhere near that building.
I'll tell you,
you guys have permission to laugh.
No, but to me, that would have been the same thing. To me, it's you going into a place where you shouldn't have been, knowingly shouldn't have been, and you got shot and shit happens. I would miss my friend James, but I would laugh like I'm laughing now.
Right, but you can say that about any war correspondent. Did you know Iraq was a dangerous place? Yes. Well, then fuck it.
Yeah, but they got paid for it.
They're doing their job.
What? Who cares if you get paid or if you're just
doing your job going into the Capitol?
My job as a freelance journalist is to document.
No, I'm saying if you're in DC and you supported Trump, your job is not to go into the Capitol and protest and take selfies.
No, I didn't say that. I said that if I was in Washington,
you're apples and oranging it to journalists that go to war.
No, I'm saying that
there were journalists in there, right?
I'm saying, yeah, but they were probably already there. But I'm saying that.
No, I think they followed him in, James. Honestly,
I'm sure that happened as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just want to point out, though, I'm not saying that, like, that if I went there, it would be like something that everyone has to condone. What I'm really saying, I'm trying to build off Locke's point, which I think he was trying to make earlier, which was that if there were 100,000 people there, I don't know how many people there. How many do you think were trying to storm the Capitol versus just there? Like, honestly, if I wasn't a journalist and I lived around the corner, I'd probably take a bird eyes view.
I see your point, James. I do. I see your point, and I agree. There were a lot of people there that stormed the Capitol that didn't plan to storm the Capitol.
And there were a lot of people there that didn't storm the Capitol.
That's a lack of intelligence. Because if I was a Trump supporter and I saw people rushing up the stairs, I'm like, no fucking way am I going into that Capitol building knowing that guys have guns, tear gas, mace. I could get shot.
You've done all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. For me, it would largely depend on how many beer in I'm at, right?
No, I wouldn't go anywhere near that building. Fuck that.
If I'm 6 beer, maybe no 7. Bring it on. Give me a fucking flak jacket.
Let me ask you guys. I'd like to ask everyone a question.
Can I just quickly?
Darren's not entertained by this at all.
No, but it's a question for Darren though.
Can I just quickly zip in and I'll zip right out because I'm enjoying this. We can't make generalizations. I said this to someone today, and I know we do it for fun because it gets a rise out of people. We can't generalize and say anyone who was in the Capitol building last weekend or anybody who puts themselves in a situation like that deserves to die. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you're 70 pounds overweight and you're told to go and storm something, rethink it. That's what
it better be downhill.
Go get a donut.
Yeah. BMI's over 25%. Stay home.
Hey, babe, we're going to go storm something this weekend. Do you want it? Probably not.
Get mama's prying board. No, but listen, seriously though. Okay, I know the differences are pretty stark between Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and Trump supporters. I understand their issues are different. I understand one seems obviously wrong and the other is just wrong sometimes. But what are your thoughts on the differences between the way the protests have gone down between Black Lives Matter and Antifa, what they were protesting, and what happened on January 6th? Because I think that the January 6th infraction itself of storming the Capitol and trying to sort of put a halt to democracy is a really bad offense. But I found that the Antifa Black Lives Matter supporters were more violent. I was just wondering what you guys thought about that.
I think it's a generalization. I think you're taking you just said the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa, and then you're saying the Trumpers by and large, right?
Yeah, so left and right. I'm saying left and right.
Well, yeah, but like I'm going extreme right, extreme left. Extreme left was violent, extreme right is violent. As far as who's worse, people died in both situations, right?
Yeah.
I hate them both.
Body counts matter.
Equally. They don't really. Okay, well, if body counts matter, extreme right is responsible for pretty much, and the extreme left is responsible for every COVID death. So fuck everybody on the right and the left.
But it's important because the people that are not staking flags on the far left or far right become influenced when they see what they generally see as rank hypocrisy among how one group is treated versus the other.
Yeah.
Right. So we were all fans. The media, everyone was fans of the Black Lives Matter protests, even after they started killing cops here and there. There was like, oh, a cop got killed, and the Black Lives Matter, and we support Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, and it was just.
I don't think you can do that, James. I think you're doing a disservice to the Black Lives Matter movement by including the Black Lives Matter protests as something that were akin to a fucking insurrection. Like,
well, the Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives
Matter. But people are doing that though.
No.
The Black Lives Matter group implicitly states that they want a revolution. They want to dismantle society as it is. So
you're talking about the organization. I'm not.
Right. You're damn right I am.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the organization. I don't give a fuck about Trumpers either. What I'm talking about is the movement. I'm talking about people. You're talking about what that movement was about this summer. The movement of the Black Lives Matter movement was about approaching systematic racism as if it were a reality and getting everybody to understand that. This was an insurrection by neckbeard, brainwashed cocksuckers. That originally, take get all the fucking people out of it. Get all the people who hurt each other. Take all the people out of the Black Lives Matter thing was a movement. It wasn't a terrorist organization out for fucking blood. That's not what it was. They have people that misrepresent both in extreme fashions on both sides, but you cannot. And I fucking don't like it when people do it. I love you. And I'll talk about it like this with you because I find this to be parlay. but you can't compare the two. It's like saying, who was right? Martin Luther King for saying a riot is just the voice of the unheard people. Is he right in this situation as well? Absolutely. But he's not right about this because these people aren't unheard. They're cocksuckers.
James is right, though. James is right. There are elements of the Antifa demonstrations. There's elements of the Black Lives Matter, and there's elements of this Trumper thing that you can compare.
But I think what Dean is saying though is that the underpinnings of why they're there is more
very different. Absolutely,
is moral on one side and immoral on the other, and I understand that, and I get that. Except that when you're on our side, and I'll say it sort of like this because our side is just not being Trump cultists, right? When you're on our side, it's very easy to to take 74 million people and just go, they're all write-offs as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that's true. I think there's some people that are like, you might not like it, but they might just vote on one issue. You know what? I like the taxes, and that's everything else is white noise to me. I only vote on taxes, so we can't just pin every racist and misogynistic act that Trump's done on all the voters as well. But I think it's really important, though, that we call out violence whenever violence happens. And I find this January 6th thing, if you didn't know the death count, you would probably think by reading reports and listening to the news that it was like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, and then when actual death counts happened in Black Lives Matter Antifa protests, you barely ever heard of it because, and even this, do you remember the CNN clip? It's so famous. He's standing in front of a burning plaza, like just an inferno. Yeah. And he literally says, it's mostly a nonviolent protest here. Back to you. And it was like you were watching fucking Saturday Night Live. It was crazy.
I remember that. That was so funny.
I had a problem when the cops started dying, right? Like, and again, I don't want to get too far in the weeds in it because a lot of those, what we're finding out now is the last time I had read, and it was from Axios, which is a very, very, very reputable source. It's like bullet form. 24 different Capitol police officers were under investigation. 4 had been suspended, and now they're going after these. They've already removed 2 or 3 people from the Secret Service that were helping perpetuate this issue. Like, I think in the next couple of days, I could be wrong, but I think, Darrin, my young man, my young American friend, you're going to see that this goes way deeper than anything that we've actually even discussed today. We've talked about issues right and left and division and all that stuff, but there was a plan here. There had to have been. And James actually wrote a great fucking article. If you go to the website, go to deanblundell.com. It's called Welcome to Martyrville. And he talks about Trump's nudges, nods, winks, his my cousin Vinny kind of like things are going to get real bad. Things are going to get violent. And I think he knows to pull the trigger on. He knows what he's talking about because I think he's arranging it. I think he's part of it. Like, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that, again, he had a lot of help in what happened the other day, from putting off the National Guard to, allowing them to have actually fewer police on actual call than they normally ever have. It's the only thing that makes sense. How did they get, like, everyone's shocked about how they got in there. I really, really want to be, I know where James is going and I know where you're going. I'm trying to, and I'm not good at this, so I'm trying to shoot the middle here in this discussion, but because I really want to be the guy that if 5 people died or 100 people died, you have to weigh it the same. And I also want to be the guy that doesn't laugh at the slightly overweight middle-aged guy that tasers himself in the nuts and dies of a fucking heart attack. I'm not that guy though, unfortunately, because I did find it funny. But yeah, for me, I am not surprised when they are talking about Antifa and they are talking about any demonstration and comparing it to what happened on the Capitol, regardless of how unorganized and chaotic and weird it was.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not surprised that James is introducing that comparison and trying to have a conversation around whether or not there are comparisons. Right.
Well, I'm reacting to what I'm seeing. Like, people are having those conversations, and at first I jump in. This is just on my Facebook, whatever. I would jump in and just be like, I don't think you can compare the two the way that they were comparing the two. And they were comparing the two like look what happened and in the Black Lives Matter poster. And I was just like, I think looting the Gap probably not as bad as invading the Capitol. Right. So
you mean stealing a ham chuck roast and a TV from a Target in Minneapolis isn't the same as trying to hang Mike Pence?
Right. But I would also say that, going to the mayor's house in California, going to politicians' homes, Black Lives Matter, when they did that, I remember saying at the time, like, this is fucking stupid. This is going to end with a death one day. And then what? Then people are going to be like, yes, that was righteous. They killed the mayor of Los Angeles because he's a completely incompetent noob who's just starting to come around in the last week or so to like what the reality is.
I'm very interested.
I think Darrin should, go ahead.
That's not a tactic. That's just for Black Lives Matter. And Trump supporters and the far right militia tried to apprehend the governor of Michigan a few months back. They had plans to apprehend her and kill her, and it was thwarted. And this guy shows up to the Senate chamber with zip ties. Why did you have several zip ties? What did you have planned? There's a fucking noose on the grounds.
Oh, dude, there's not a noose. They built a full-on gallows, like the noose with the actual foundation and the steps, and like you could fit like 10 people.
It's horrible. And I don't think you can compare all you want to Black Lives Matter, to the Antifa situations, the peaceful protests. I think we should keep our eyes on the prize. And not compare apples to oranges to grapes, because what happened. It was horrible. It was horrible. People died, and it was an attempted coup. And to Dean's point, was it planned? Probably. I don't know how.
I believe it was.
I don't know how.
Yeah,
Trump
I do too. Huge
phone calls and a few emails. And
oh man, but he always go to James's article. He talks about him going, stuff's gonna happen.
No,
like
it's
here
like,
he goes.
I compared it to the mafia guy who gets caught on the wiretap going, okay, well, we got to go see that guy about that thing. And they bring it up in court, and it's obviously that the guy is Vinny and the thing is Vinny killing Frankie, right? Like that is clearly what is happening.
Like, we got to go to the Capitol to say hi to the people.
Like that scene in Casino where De Niro's on the phone with Pesci, and he's like, hey, we got to go to the golf course. I got to have dinner. Oh, you'll never get in. Reservations are booked up by 6. And there's code on the bottom of the screen, what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in this discussion, wildly interested in this discussion, because we have had, and it's not, this is going to surprise you, but we get a lot of complaints about our show. And
being anti-Trump, I'll tell you what, because you're a very male-dominated radio show. You play like classic rock.
All you had to say was Saskatchewan.
You're in the middle of Alberta.
So
Alberta, I can tell you being anti-Trump is very unpopular.
Yeah. So I get people complaining about how we have been laughing about this Capitol Hill thing.
Wow.
Right? So, and I'm like, and they're mad because we're not comparing it to the Black Lives Matters protests and the Antifa. Like, they're like, you didn't make fun of the Antifa. You didn't make fun of Black Lives Matter. You're making fun of the guy in the horns because his mom is worried he's not eating because he's not getting organic food. And we're dying laughing over that shit.
I heard that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he got his mom to go to the press. Mom, you got to do something.
You're talking about that guy, Aaron Gillette.
And I know that the cheese is processed cheese, Mom. I'm going to die. I know that bread has gluten in it.
You know what I'm amazed by too? How many of these QAnon guys and Proud Boys live at home? It's like
you're amazed by that.
Well, I am, because we've joked around about it for so long, almost like it's impossible that all those guys can't really live in their basements. And then they arrested the head of Proud Boys, Enrico Tirio. It was like they arrested him and his mom came to bail him out. Yes, he lives at home with his mother. And then this guy with the
call my
horns,
lawyer.
this guy with the horns, they arrest him the other day. Angela Sandusky or whatever the fucking guy's name is. They arrest him. And it's like the first thing I read about him after he gets arrested is, they checked in with his mom and he's on a hunger strike because they don't have organic food.
Dean,
I'm like,
hunger
it's
strike.
true. They all live with their parents.
Dean, how about this? Honey, where are you going? Gonna go storm the Capitol, Mom.
Don't forget to bring some hot cocoa.
I'm gonna hang Mike Pence. Dinner's at 6.
Stop making it so easy.
Mom, I'm going to be back in 5. Make sure we got meatloaf, Ma. I'll be back after the insurrection, Ma.
A little known fact: they're not very bright, but they're also a little suicidal. But it turns out you can't kill yourself jumping out of a basement apartment window.
That's why they live down there. Moms are like, "You go live in the basement, baby."
That's the vitamin D of suicides among Trumpers.
Did you just say?
We're gonna keep Jacob safe.
Zero sympathy for any of these fucking.
But
clowns.
it's
zero.
Yeah, I know.
Let him rot in hell. Let him die. I'm glad that woman got trampled. I'm glad that guy tasered his balls. I'm glad that woman got shot. Glad with a capital fucking G. You attack the United States government. You try to because you want to storm the Capitol and get Nancy Pelosi or Mike Pence or tie people up or hang people. Fuck you,
Darren. You put the G in glad.
I love Darren. I love you, buddy. That's
Shouldn't
awesome.
have been there. You want to chant on the ground? Say, you stole the election. Trump, Trump, Trump. Fine. That's called peaceful protest. You storm the Capitol with intent and you die? Tough shit.
Yeah.
Did she die? Did she get trampled inside where she wasn't supposed to be, or was she still outside?
No,
she's so large you could trample her very easily.
She was bringing up
She was
the
on
rear.
the steps.
I have no sympathy. I'm sorry.
She was on the steps. I'll explain to you what happened to her. She was on the steps and she was getting ready to go through that window, and it apparently became too much. She fell down. Everybody was clearly not concerned. And they just walked right over her and her flag, and she got trampled to death on the way into the state building. So she tried to get in. She got treaded, big time treaded, even though her flag.
Don't tread on me.
Even though her flag said, and I quote, "Don't tread it on me, bro." Yeah. So now you're laughing, eh, James?
Well,
Where was like 20 minutes ago, you were like this, guys.
I know
guys,
it.
on paper,
guys.
but if you're
How would you like to be this woman's family? Okay, how would you like
I
to be?
know what James is going through.
Well, the woman's brother spoke. His name was Ron Boylan. He spoke afterwards, and he's like, "Yeah, she was fucking insane."
Well, that's my point. How would you like to be the family? She must have brothers and kids and other people around her universe that love her. So they're probably grappling with like, wow, she's gone. That sucks. I'm going to miss her. But wow, what a dummy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
and
they
she
did.
used to steal the toilet paper at Thanksgiving dinner all the time. So mom's happy.
Here's the thing. She used to be an extreme drug addict, and she got clean and then started like, which is a lot of these people, like the same thing. The guy whose mom said he needs organic said that he hasn't gone without drugs in quite some time either, like marijuana. So he's going to be in trouble. Like a lot of these people are really, really troubled individuals, and he's managed to harness, like, you know, you say 74 million people voted for him and 74 million people aren't racist. I agree with you, but I'm pretty sure 74 million people are really, really abusing prescription medication.
That's like fish in a barrel, though. But no, but it's an interesting thing. I wonder if AA enrollment has gone down right
Since
around
the
the same
pandemic.
number that Trump popularity has shot up. You know,
Probably.
like the supporters because they all do seem like ex-substance abusers are easily plucked for
Manipulated.
religion.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, and they all end up being born again Christians and all that, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Let me write that down. That's another reason why I shouldn't go to AA.
Like I stopped
when I'm
drinking.
talking to my wife.
I stopped drinking and I just turned to psychedelics. Right, that was my idea.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh yeah.
I do want to quickly talk about one thing because I find this story unbelievable. I know we've been talking for a while. Thanks to our friends James, Lochlin, Darrin Rooke. Evander Kane filed for bankruptcy today. Evander Kane plays for the San Jose Sharks. Hell of a hockey player. 2019, he signed a contract for 7 years, $49 million. And just went bankrupt. Keep in mind, 2019, 2 years ago, when he signed that contract, he also got a $12 million bonus to sign it. So let me give you the numbers here, fellas. Protect your money. Including in his bankruptcy filing, $1.5 million in gambling losses last year. He supports seven family dependents. He is part of 6 active lawsuits against him, including one from a bank where he borrowed $8.3 million for, quote, business opportunities. But he borrowed it against his contract. He now has a monthly income of $91,131, and he cannot afford to pay his bills with that monthly income of $91,131. He also owes a place called Sure Sports $1.2 million just in store credit. Like he's going in and coming out with stuff going, I'll take some of those. Give me a box.
Hockey gloves, some pucks.
Yeah. And he's also claiming a countersuit against a woman who charged him with false sexual battery assault suit back in Buffalo, I believe, a couple of years ago when he was there. So, but just to break it down, he spent $49 million in 2 years, and he still has 3 more years left on this contract if he opts out of the contract this year. How does one spend?
I'll tell you how, Dean. I guess it can be summed up by the great Mrs. Forrest Gump, who said, "Stupid is as stupid does."
That's true.
You know,
I would like an opportunity
Didn't he
to
have
be
the
that
money
dumb
photo?
with money. Yes, he's the guy with that in Vegas with the stacks of cash.
Sorry, I'm just calling the bankruptcy agency right now. Money phone.
No, seriously, that's him. I'll show you him. Actually, this
Mayweather was the first one I ever saw do that, but that was like 5 years ago.
But he still has lots and lots of money.
He will.
Mayweather?
Kane's going to make another $100 million in the NHL, probably, right? Like,
there you go. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to make that kind of money. He's 11 years into the NHL, so he's 32 years old now.
He's coming up on the twilight of his
I thought
career.
he was younger. I'm sorry. Yep.
This is why. Remember when he was like, "Yeah, I want to fight Jake Paul." Do you remember that? Remember when he said that?
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to fight Jake Paul, is because he needs.
That makes more sense.
Money.
He's coming up on the twilight.
Take the mop off your head and wipe the floor with you.
Here, there you go. This is why. Remember when he was like, "Yeah, I want to fight Jake Paul." Do you remember that? Remember when he said that?
Oh, that's
Take
why.
the mop off your head.
Yeah,
and
that's
wipe
why
the
he
floor
wanted
with
to
you.
fight Jake Paul, is because he needs.
That
There you
makes
go.
more sense.
Money.
He's coming
There's
up
him.
He saw that $50 million guaranteed check to McGregor, and he's like, "I want a piece.
Yeah,
I want all that. I need all that."
How the fuck does someone spend that kind of money?
They're
I
not
love it.
educated in
I
finance.
love it.
Gambling.
How old was he when he first entered the league?
19.
I wonder what kind of people he had around him. You know,
Probably not great people. He hasn't been a great teammate. Like, he was in Buffalo for a bit. He got beat out. Like, Dustin Byfuglien beat the shit out of him before he left Winnipeg. I think he broke his shoulder doing it too. He's not a well-liked guy, and I think, you know, unfortunately, he's his ego gets the best of him, because some of his Instagram pictures are fucking wild.
Like the money on the roof of the Vegas hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, like he just doesn't give a shit. The only thing he cares
I don't know
about
why,
is
but
him.
I'm like sympathetic James today. I feel bad for these people.
Do you really?
I do. I imagine how empty you would feel if you knew that you blew all that money, and how stupid you would feel and how dumb you would feel. I don't know.
Well, I don't think
I don't feel sorry for him because he's rich and all that stuff. I
don't know what's wrong with you either, because you're usually schadenfreude, James. You're schadenfreude, Jimmy. You're riding shit. You and Darrin would have been riding shotgun
just before the podcast, and I think
did you?
My appearance today. So
You're being way too nice now.
all I know is that I was wrong.
Yeah, of course you were. This is Evander Kane.
I mean, maybe I'm just getting old and getting hardened, but I got no sympathy for this guy either. None.
No.
Okay, someone's calling you. This is one of my favorites. This is a picture of him with his Yeezys on. Those I think are $1,200. Those jeans look like they must have been free, but he's flying in a private jet. This is just this year. This is him showing up to the golf course in a Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
it's like he's like 18 forever.
Yeah, and he's like in his 30s, and then here's him with like a $400,000 Ferrari on the outskirts. Just him take this IG clout. That's what I think. I think he really wanted to become one of those IG like influencers. I think he thought he was much cooler, and I think he played like he had more money than he did because he doesn't have any fucking money.
I think if you take the hockey players in the National Hockey League, which is I think what's like 500, 600 guys, and you're gonna have a handful of guys like Evander Kane that are just fucking completely stupid and blow their money on dumb shit and gamble it away and misinvestments.
Like Antoine Walker.
You're gonna have a couple.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Most of them are gonna go with their family involved, their wives, their mom and dad, their grandparents go, hey, you should invest in this. You should invest in this. You should get a financial advisor. Plus, when you come onto a team, the veterans are like, hey, rookie, you should meet my financial advisor. He does this, 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 and this. And I got houses in the Alps and over here. And a lot of these guys go, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Because you trust him, then I'll trust him. But there's always that one guy like this clown who goes, I'm cool, whatever. I'm going to go to Vegas and answer the phone with money.
You know what's funny though? All the guys that were mentioned, like the Mike Tyson, Walker, I would add Allen Iverson to that list.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of guys. You know what they all actually have in common? They're all from the ghetto, right? They don't know what it's like to have money. They don't have any education when it comes to finances. And who did Mike Tyson get wrapped up with? A guy like Don King. I don't remember the name of the guy that Allen Iverson got hooked up with, but he didn't have any discipline either when it came time to lend him money to family and friends and everything. They don't know what they're dealing with. And often they don't even know how much money they have while they're spending it. They just think that they still have money because they're not programmed to be responsible with their cash like that.
We had a conversation on the air not too long ago, and we kind of got into it for a bit, but we were trying to figure out what major sport has the dumbest athletes.
It's got to be hockey.
It's going to be.
You got to be
really
racist.
The answer's going to be racist.
Football.
No,
Football.
it's got to be hockey.
78% of them are bankrupt.
78% of are bankrupt. You talk about dumb though. I would bet you 10% of hockey players, professional hockey players, have gone to a post-secondary school. You think about when they get drafted and when they come into the league.
Yeah, but that's different.
Football players have to go to university. Basketball players have to go to university.
But they don't
have to go to
class.
It doesn't matter. What are you talking about? Like technically, or are you talking about like
literally? Just CTE alone makes football the dumbest league on the planet.
That's true.
Yeah, basketball did come in though because a bunch of them are flat earthers apparently.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's a flat earther.
Yeah.
And Irie,
I think Shaq's a flat earther too.
Dude, did you
hear
hear
the
about
only one that can see over the horizon?
Kyrie for sure is a flat earther because he's not even no one even knows where he is. They said he's MIA. Yeah, I read that today. Kyrie Irving. They're like, where is he? Kevin Durant's like, they asked Steve Nash and Kevin Durant today. They're like, where's Kyrie Irving? They're like, we don't know. Any other questions?
Kevin's running point tonight.
Seriously, that's what they said because Kyrie's like a really big spiritual guy, and I think the thing that happened the other day really bothered him. Like the thing that happened in the couch, like it didn't just bother Darrin, it bothered millions of other people as well, by the way. And so Kyrie's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here," and he just split. So they're like, "Hey, Kyrie, Steve, where's Kyrie?" Kyrie's like, "I don't know. Next question."
Wow. Dennis Rodman used to go MIA all the time, eh?
He went to.
He got permission from his coach to go
Vegas
MIA.
and partied for.
And he's like a boomerang. He always came back.
Yeah.
And
did you see that in The Last Dance?
25
Phil
rebounds.
Jackson was like, you can have a 2-day vacation in Las Vegas during the fucking playoffs, and then he did it, and then he came back 3 days later,
a week
or whatever it was. Was it a week?
It was a week.
It was supposed to be 2 days, but it turned into like 5.
Yeah, and then Jordan had to go pick him up.
And then he
let's
fucking
go.
played his ass off and got the MVP for the next game because
he still got his on the court.
Some shit.
Yeah, that's because he left it all in Carmen Electra.
That's right. What happens in Carmen Electra stays in Carmen Electra.
I don't think it stays in there. Anyway. Hey, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being part of the podcast.
Before we leave, Dean, can we change gears? Can we change gears and talk about something actually kind of fun? Really, really, really quick.
Sure.
Does anybody on this panel think that Cleveland's got a shot against Kansas City?
No, but I'm a Browns fan.
Yep.
Long-time Browns fan?
Yes, I do.
I started cheering for the Browns when I realized how much it annoyed people.
They're going into this game on fire, confidence high, guys performing at a high level. If
It's the
Mahomes
Chiefs,
has a bad day or even a half bad day, there's a shot.
They have the recipe to beat them because if they just run the ball and keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, and they have both of those guys in the backfield that can do that. If Kansas City can't stop it, they have all the tools to do it.
And what about Buffalo and Baltimore?
Oh,
Buffalo
Buffalo's winning.
Buffalo's
they're rolling.
Josh Allen's too good. Josh Allen is too precise. He's too good. He's too big.
Lamar Jackson
He
is
knows no one else can throw.
a running threat, just like Allen.
I know, but I think Buffalo's defense is going to come up big. Did you watch how Jordan Poyer played last week, trying to get that last second where he pulled the ball out of fucking Pascal's hand? And then he should have got that fumble. Their secondary's too good. Josh Norman's too good. Poyer's too good. Their pass rush is really good. If they can just kind of keep him in the pocket, we're good. Keep him in the well. Keep Lamar.
Brady or
For what
Breeze?
it's worth, the last Bills game I saw live was against the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, and in the first half, Buffalo kept him to like 22 yards rushing, and then in the second half, I think it was only like 21-17. I don't even know if they played this year. Maybe they did, but like it was close. So I know that
last year.
Yeah. So that's I give them all the chances to.
You guys are saying it's a Buffalo Kansas City AFC championship.
I think it's a.
Yeah, that sounds.
You think so?
The last time I watched a Bills game, Bruce Smith was playing, but I will say, I think just because I like to look what would the best story be? So the best story would be how Bills get to the Super Bowl somehow. I don't know. And then they lose because of a field goal.
Blasphemy.
That would be the greatest.
Wish I could go through the screen and choke you.
Shut up, Norwood.
Bills and Packers Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I would love a Bills Packers Super Bowl.
Heard it here first.
Brady or Breeze? Brady or Breeze?
It'd be kind of
Breeze.
hilarious because of the wording. The Packers and the Browns.
Yeah. Right? That's so racist.
We're so sexual.
Not racist. It's
Of course
sexual.
it's racist. And it's homophobic. Darren,
Yeah,
you're
big
2 for
time.
2.
No, it's not. I support it.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Dude, you
Yeah,
said Browns
all
and
in.
Packers. You said
Yeah,
Browns and
Browns,
Packers. You got a
Packers.
major problem.
Look at that. Look at
That's a
that.
double
All right.
entendre of racism.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That was fun, guys. Appreciate it. Lochlin Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM. Morning
I'm
guy
moving
in
to Kenya.
Alberta. No, you're not.
He'll end up in friggin' Paris or something. Okay, go on.
James DiFiore from blackballmedia.ca. Darrin Pfeiffer from the Dangerous Darrin Show and the rock and roll band Goldfinger. You can get the Dangerous Darrin Show anywhere. Also, Dangerous Darrin is available at deanblundell.com and iKnowBe Radio. Thanks for doing this, dude. Thanks, Rookie. Appreciate you as well. The head of production for deanblundell.com. Appreciate you guys being here today. Thanks. Yeah,
Thanks for
we had a
having me,
lot
guys.
of catching up to do. It was a long one today. I have no idea how long we've been doing this for, but it seems like a while.
About an
We'll
hour and a
see.
half.
That's what she said.
Woo.
This feels
Okay.
like it's gone on for a long time, Dean.
Are you done yet?
Yeah. Dean, what's that smell? I get that one.
You promised me chicken McNuggets when we're done, right? Can I get the 9-pack?
I'm out.
I'm out. Later,
It
guys.
depends.
Bye.
Hey guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to our friends at Owner's Box Fantasy Sports, weekly fantasy sports made better by them. They know how to do everything. They're into basketball, they're into football, they're into hockey. They just started hockey as well. Owner's Box Fantasy Sports. Go and sign up. It's totally free when you sign up for your new account. When you go to ownersbox.com, do it today. Thanks to our friends at Ed's Fine Imports. His Gitch is your Gitch. It's my Gitch. It's everybody else's Gitch. Go to edsfineimports.com. He's got Gitch. Super luxury underwear with a pouch in the front. Order 3, get 1 for free when you use promo code GITCH3. So that's 4 for the price of 3 when you use GITCH3. That's your promo code for edsfineimports.com. And Blue Microphones. I forgot the official microphone of deanblundell.com. Have a great day. Sign up for a newsletter. Stay safe. Don't be one of those COVID hoaxers either. Don't be one of those douche lords. Says nothing's going on. Everyone hates you. Everyone. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.